To kick off our program, we have a welcome from the NIDLR director, Dr. Anjali Forber-Pratt. So I'm going to give you some highlights from her bio, and I'm going to go ahead and put the full one in there so you can really appreciate all of the details of her accomplishments. So just, super at a high level, Dr. Forber-Pratt is a very accomplished disability scholar. She's a published author. She's a Paralympian, and she's also won several national awards for her disability policy related work. So we're delighted to have her as our director, and especially delighted to have her here today. Dr. Forber-Pratt.
Thank you so much, Kathleen. I really appreciate it. Well, I'm really honored to welcome everyone today, and especially to thank our presenters and to you all as attendees for being here. As you heard, I do serve as the director of the National Institute on Disability Independent Living and Rehabilitation Research, also known as NIDLR, within the Administration for Community Living. Today, I am wearing a white shirt with black shapes and a teal suit jacket, and I have brown skin and black hair that's up in a ponytail, and I have a blue virtual background with ACL's logo and name. And not seen on the screen is that I'm sitting in a manual wheelchair, and I have my service dog, who's a black lab, who's sitting under the desk in front of me. Thank you so much to our NIDLR grantee, the Center on Knowledge Translation for Disability and Rehabilitation Research, which is housed at the American Institutes for Research, AIR, for hosting this 2023 Virtual Knowledge Translation Conference. Our theme today is tailoring your knowledge translation strategies for your intended users. For those who don't know NIDLR, we are the main disability research funder within the US government. And at NIDLR, we have long supported investment in knowledge translation. Knowledge translation to me really is the heartbeat that keeps the research findings alive and engages the community to be excited about research, to be a part of it, and to truly influence and inform policy that matters. KT is important for several reasons, as it really does help to bridge that gap between research knowledge and its practical application in many fields. Oftentimes, there is a significant gap between research that gets conducted by experts and what's happening in terms of actual practices on the ground. And KT helps to bridge that gap by translating research findings into practical, digestible ways and that professionals and organizations can implement and understand. I also believe that KT plays a vital role in helping to reduce disparities in outcomes by ensuring that the best available knowledge is accessible and implemented across diverse populations and settings. Knowledge is power, and we have to get this knowledge into the hands of those who will benefit most from those findings, and in our case, for people with disabilities and their families and providers. It also means tailoring information for them and ensuring the accessibility of the content. And for these digesters of the information, it empowers individuals as well as communities and organizations by providing them with information and tools that they need to make informed decisions and advocate for their individual needs or preferences, and even to advocate to improve policies and practices too. We know that different user groups may have specific motivations, concerns, or misconceptions even that may need to be addressed in the KT process. For example, we know that some audiences may be harder to reach with traditional methods or mediums. We know that there are unique considerations for some subpopulations. For example, people outside of the dominant culture, like those who are incarcerated or perhaps in a hospital or other congregate settings, or don't rely on spoken English as the main mode of communication. These are examples of communities that may benefit from specific tailoring. Tailoring allows for crafting messages that resonate with each group's unique characteristics, but we also know it's important to design with our KT efforts with intentionality so as to not get ourselves overwhelmed with trying to message to too many audiences. So today really kicks us off on the first of a 3-day journey on this topic. Another thing that I love about the field of KT is that as a whole, we're committed to lifelong learning and enhancing our own skills to engage thoughtfully and to be better at this engagement, to be more effective and efficient with our intended audiences. And the focus of these 3 days really comes from questions that you all have posed. And this first day, you're going to go on a journey with several wonderful presenters about the power of engagement, engaging diverse stakeholders, and knowledge brokering. The next day, we'll hear from panelists about information sharing with a panel from a rural community living development, as well as advances in KT that will talk about new principles and practices. And on the final day, we'll hear from specific cases about implementing knowledge translation in rehabilitation research, understanding and respecting strengths of your target audience, as well as relationship building. Tailoring knowledge translation strategies for users is crucial for enhancing the adoption and utilization of research findings and of evidence-based practices. By considering these specific needs, preferences, and characteristics of your intended target audience, KT practitioners are able to increase the chances of successful knowledge translation and drive those positive outcomes across our disability and rehabilitation field and influence many broader areas. In closing, just thank you so much again for the incredible commitment and the work that you do to deliver pertinent information to our community. And let's learn more together about tailoring our knowledge and tailoring our KT strategies for our intended users. Thank you.